Hello everybody and welcome back to F1 23 with me, Dan, and the Razor Slothz team. A very quick break between Singapore and now the Japanese Grand Prix as we get straight underway with practice. Another circuit, this is, I think we added it last season, potentially. I honestly can't remember because it was so long ago now. And actually enjoyed it quite a lot, so it's stayed on the calendar into this zero assists season. Our practice session not going quite to plan there, although we do manage to pick up a second attempt at those points there at the last moment. And then we're kind of just left with the only option of going for the energy store, unfortunately. But what can you do? Well, we picked them up in the end anyway. ERS upgrades, even though we don't really need them, can go next, and then it's kind of getting to the stage where it's just going to be reliability that we have to do for some of these, as you can see, as we picked up most of the upgrades now in the aero and chassis and power unit departments. Here's another look at the performance table. We're currently 5th, a bit of a jump back to Haas and McLaren, but quite tight at the front. So then over to the Japanese Lenovo Grand Prix. Interesting sponsor choice there. I'm pretty sure Lenovo is actually Chinese. I would have thought something like Toshiba would have done for this Grand Prix, but that's just kind of a weird detail. I don't go through and download all the mods for realistic sponsors, just in case you were wondering. Anyway, don't forget to like this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell as well so you can stay up to date on this season and any future seasons to come as well. And we'll move on to the starting grid order for today's race here in Japan. And leading away the front row is George Russell. He had a dog of a race in Singapore, followed by Lewis Hamilton, the last race winner. And look at qualifying there. Incredibly close. Followed by them, we have Carlos Sainz, Charles Leclerc, Alex Albon and Max Verstappen, Lando Norris, Sergio Perez, Jack Doohan and Kevin Magnussen, Pierre Gasly and Esteban Ocon, Valtteri Bottas and Lance Stroll, Joe Guan Yu, and then there's me, continuing my bad run of qualifying, Oscar Piastri, Yuki Tsunoda, Nico Hülkenberg, Théo Pourchaire, and to no one's surprise, it's Nick De Vries and Logan Sargent running at the back. And yeah, qualifying not great apparently. It seems like I need a few warm-up laps, and then when you get right into the race, seems to be right when I can actually get into the groove of things as we longingly stare at the Japanese flag. So again, quite a lot of ground to make up here as we come from 16th at the back. Actually, Piastri joining us, so he's got a bit of a way to go as well in that McLaren, and we're away. Here, looks like Doohan is going backwards already, and we go on board as we go sliding up the inside of Ocon and then back out of it into turn 1. The two Alpines going a little bit crazy there as we go through the first couple of corners. Still side by side there as Gasly takes a swipe at Ocon. Ocon cuts him up. The two of these drivers absolutely hate each other's guts, and it's incredibly funny when they come together in the game. But they have managed to settle who is going to hold on to the final point. For now, Doohan, once again, having an awful start, has dropped to 14th from inside the top 10, so not exactly great. And we're going to make a dive now on Gasly into the hairpin, nearly running into the back of Esteban Ocon, but getting out of the corner just before that yellow flag and moving up into P11. Two Mercedes still up ahead with a Christmas decoration of colours, with the Ferraris and Aston Martins there. But great start there. There's Doohan coming backwards from our point of view at the start. And again, it looks as though there's the McLaren up ahead running the hard tyre, which could make things a little bit interesting as we go full speed through 130R at the end of lap 1. Up the inside of Ocon. Bit of contact there as we kill the bollards. Going through the final couple of corners there. Down towards the start-finish line. Esteban Ocon will be looking for revenge. You can see his proximity arrow darting around all over the place. He did wiggle as we look behind us, but it looks like he's not going to try it just yet. He's going to bide his time. Wait for later on. Up ahead, we've got Lando Norris, who's on the hard tyre. For some reason, there is that replay. as we slide across the curb, absolutely demolish the two bollards that were up there. And they probably deserved it, as we nearly go sailing into the gravel traps backwards off the back of that curb there, which has lifted the car up. Esteban Ocon didn't really need to be in P10 though, because he has dropped 7 tenths over the space of a lap, which is good for our pace as we dive down the inside of the of Lando Norris's McLaren and nearly throw it into the barriers. Looks like Norris is going to have a little look here down the outside, but no, he's not really going to have the opportunity since he is running the hard. Doohan's still in 14th. He's got the medium on, so he is at a little bit of a disadvantage to those around him. But not as much as Norris is going to be when those two Alpines catch up. And you can see here, lap 4, Norris has already got Ocon and Gasly all over the back of him. Kevin Magnussen here, though, having a great race. They have got the 6th best car, so this is a plausible situation. They've got to take advantage, much like in the last race in Singapore, when some of the leaders get knocked out by mysterious circumstances and safety cars. Haas can actually score some points, as can Alpine. McLaren, I mean, really, they should be up there anyway. I thought they'd be doing much better than this in this series, but apparently I'm wrong. And we've actually got Perez up ahead as well on a different tyre compound, but for now it's Magnussen down the inside as he has to lift there. The superior grip of the softs helping us out there as we join the back of the Red Bull camp. It is Sergio Perez followed by Max Verstappen, or following Max Verstappen in order of who we're going to overtake first. And this is Esteban Ocon here. Is he going to make a wild move to attack Lando Norris? He's not. He's going to pirouette backwards at the exit of turn 1. He's going to sit there in the way and deploy the safety car. And now he can safely just get out of the way. An interesting decision there from the Frenchman, but one I will not question. Perhaps a backhanded tactic to try and wipe out Pierre Gasly. Who knows? But that's going to prompt some activity in the pit lane as we come through the final few corners. We'll see who doesn't come in. Looks like most people are in, as the Red Bulls are going to double stack. That's going to work to our advantage. Not so great, though, that we miss out that they were running the hard tyres, and we're not going to be able to catch them quite as quick now, depending on what they're putting back on the car. We're being held there for no reason. Clearly, nothing going through the pit lane. I did actually flash back there to try and fix that. Wouldn't release me at all. Doesn't matter how quick the pit stop was, wouldn't let me out, even though the pit lane's clear. Doohan, though, jumping up 4 places as Perez was double stacked. I'm guessing Norris was as well. And there goes Carlos Sainz during the safety car period into the pit lane. And he apparently wants to relive the glory days of Ferrari fighting against Williams, as he will be going up against Logan Sargent at the restart. And there he is. He's that tiny little red dot in the background there. So, green versus green at the restart. We got Albon again, who crashed into someone last race and lost his end plate. Not at a restart, at the start of the race, and we're on an equal tyre footing here. Fairly close in car development as well, but the AI not close in terms of actual racing performance as they lift going into that first part of turn 1, and it just costs them that little bit of extra time under braking, and it's allowed us through. Even though we're running the hard tyre, this is going to be a bit of a slog to the end. But the tyre life should eke out a little bit further over our competition. We're just going to have to try and warm them up a bit and push quite hard to try and keep up with them, because they're all running mediums. Kevin Magnussen also running the hard with us as well. We'll see where he turns out at the end. There's the lift from Albon. I'm not sure if that's because I was up his inside and he wanted to turn in, or because it's just something that the AI just like to do. But here's Perez chasing down Kevin Magnussen now. So Magnussen probably not going to have the greatest race as Perez goes to the outside, steaming down towards 130R, and he gets the place. Yes, he does. Around the outside of Magnussen. Magnussen will begin to drop backwards. I'm actually not entirely sure why we're watching this. It must be in the video for a reason. Is something going to happen? Oh, we got green flags. Is someone broken? No. I don't understand what that was for. Maybe it's because nothing else happened to the rest of the Grand Prix. But here we go. Jack Doohan also chasing down Magnussen. I can't actually see if he's got DRS. No, it was too small. I can't see. Perhaps he does. We are on lap 12 as it is. So maybe. But there we go. Equal competition there. Doohan versus Magnussen on the same compound. Doohan comes out on top. And now we follow Albon on lap 14. The end of lap 14. We've not been able to close up on Verstappen at all, really, which isn't great. And it does mean that Albon is all over the place there as we pull a few defensive maneuvers. Allows Sergio Perez up the inside. He might try and come back at him here, which is great for us because our tyre life is absolutely crap right now. We've managed to stay ahead. Perez is trying to put a nose up the inside. That's dangerous against me. And there we go. Yeah, we had a lock-up, ran wide. Albon sees a chance and goes a little bit indecisive and just lost so much time behind us. It allowed Perez to come through. This was his attempt at coming back. And once again lifts into turn one. Which has prompted that move from Perez. But this time gets a little bit harder. Albon has dropped back and we've still got to defend from a Red Bull. To the outside, Perez goes, he comes steaming down towards turn one, but he lifts as well. We found the secret to defensive maneuvers here in Japan with 0 tyre life. We're not going to catch Verstappen. We've allowed Doohan to catch up, which is great, with 4 laps to go. All we've got to do is stay ahead of Perez at the braking zone for turn one, and we've got the position safe in the bag. This is it again. So he's actually alongside, gets ahead of us by a good few inches, and then just lifts. So here's his next attempt. Running wide again. Into the final corner. Down the hill we go. He's right on the back of us this time, and we immediately go defensive. Down the middle of the straight. He's going to go to the outside and once again lifts into turn one. It doesn't really matter at this point how defensive we are, as long as we get him on the outside into turn one. We're probably going to keep the position. We can slide around as much as we like as we go through. We're actually a little bit tidier that time through turn, well, the final couple of corners, through that chicane. And on to the final lap we go. Sergio Perez quite far off us here. And isn't even going to get close. And given that we're going to be deploying all of the battery, he's not going to catch us either. And looking down the field, Kevin Magnussen, just at the top of the picture there. Still running in the top 10, ahead of Pierre Gasly, and it doesn't look as though Gasly's going to get close enough to try and get past him. Hopefully Stroll does not make a move on Doohan, and that will secure at least a few points for us. About 14, I'm guessing, total, because we wouldn't have the fastest lap. I'm sure that's probably gone to someone like Hamilton, who's making it his second win in a row. I'm not sure if he won in the Netherlands. That was about 4 months ago now, so don't ask me about that one. And I've also just noticed we've lost Esteban Ocon earlier on. I think during that incident, he retired out of embarrassment. As we now steam down towards 130R. Perez now getting a lot closer here in the closing stages. He's not going to have a chance to get past. as we nearly blast off into the barrier there. Skipping a bump across the curb and round the final corner we go, and across the line. We have a big slide and a bit of a touch-up with the wall there, but we are across the line. P5 for us. And we break our wrists as we turn the wheel incredibly aggressively at the thought of getting driver of the day. But it's Lewis Hamilton yet again on top. There's his teammate George Russell, also making it to the podium this time. So, yet again, Hamilton extends his lead over Russell. And also Leclerc, who is on the podium as well. So that's P3 for the championship, where Charles Leclerc is right now. But the champagne is out, and it's almost time now for the race results, as we just enjoy Hamilton and Generic Man attacking each other with champagne. I'm just realising now that was James Allison, but here we go. On to the final results. We've got Lewis Hamilton with the fastest lap and the win, followed by Charles Leclerc and George Russell. Max Verstappen, Radiant Slothz, Sergio Perez, Alex Albon, Jack Doohan, Lance Stroll, Kevin Magnussen round out the top 10. Over to the Drivers' Championship, and it's Lewis Hamilton still now 26 points ahead of his teammate George Russell. Then it's a jump back to Charles Leclerc, Sergio Perez, Radiant Sloths, Carlos Sainz, Alex Albon, Max Verstappen, Pierre Gasly and Lance Stroll. Further down the order, we have Lando Norris, Esteban Ocon, Jack Doohan, Valtteri Bottas, Kevin Magnussen, Oscar Piastri, Yuki Tsunoda, Nico Hulkenberg, Joe Guan Yu, and then on 0 points, Logan Sargent, Teo Pourchaire, and Nick De Vries. And finally, the constructors, Mercedes again extended their lead over Ferrari. Then it's Red Bull in third, Razor Slothtech, Aston Martin, Alpine, McLaren, Haas, Alfa Romeo, AlphaTauri, and finally it's Williams. That's all for this race. We'll catch you next time for Qatar.